Well, good morning, guys. I am in our storage unit and it's not insulated, and I don't know how I'm going to get it out, but I'm not going to right now. I just wanted to, I guess, give you kind of a summary video. Got to like 30 degrees, so we pulled it back in here, but I'm sorry about the lighting, but this is all I got. I am plugged in. Got my coach plugged in, and then I've switched this system into bypass. And so I've got my inverters, they're shut off, and I have the power running through. Basically, I've got AC. So then I have AC power to here, and so I've got this charger hooked up to top my batteries off, and so right now they are sitting at 27.1. I found this charger was keeping the voltage higher than I had it set at. So I don't know if it's defective or not, but I guess you might want to watch yours. The other, I've got this plugged in to the AC power, and so I've got it set, if the temperature goes below 39, it provides power to just this little ceramic heater. And then when it reaches 51 degrees, it turns it off. And so my thought being, I just want to keep this bay warm. It's insulated, and I don't want it super hot. I just want it above freezing. I have in this box down here a heating pad, and I decided not to adhere it to these batteries. I just didn't know if they would, I don't know, catch fire or turn off or what. This is UL rated. It's just a little ceramic heater. It's sitting on metal, and worst case, if this thing ran 24/7, it'd get hot in there. The other thing too is if this thing tips over, it's got a little pin on it to turn it off. And so my intent is not to use this while I'm driving down the road, just while I'm in storage here. But I just wanted to show you guys. So I've got the bus plugged in. I've got it in bypass. I've got these inverters shut off, give them a break for the winter. I just have, it's basically the servo, the smart shunt, and this guy right here, just keeping these topped off. I would turn these off, but what happens is these have very large capacitors in them. In the internal resistor in this model only, the EG4 LL version 1, it won't turn them on. It goes to air because the internal resistance is too high. There's a version 2 that just came out, and I'm asking to see if I can test it, try it, buy it, because if I could simply turn the battery on and it pre-charges these inverters, I'd just come in here and turn them off. I don't need battery power at all. But right now, what I've done is turn the inverters off, and I keep these on so it keeps the capacitors charged. Up here, I've got a 12-volt disconnect, and so I turn those off. I've got it on right now, so I've got the lights on. But I turn it off as well. So really, the only thing I'm doing is these will eventually kind of kill themselves, and the servo and the smart shunt, they run about 10 watts, so slowly it'd kill this, and so I've just got that just to kind of top it off. But if I could simply turn this on and it would pre-charge those, I would totally turn everything off and just keep the heater on, because otherwise I've got to pull these fuses, 2 fuses out, and then pre-charge each Victron and then hook it back up. So I'm hoping we could get that version 2. But what I wanted to do is just kind of give a summary of what I've done and where I'm at. As you can see, I wasn't able to really end my video. I had to stick it in storage. I gotta crawl around here. You can see how tight of a fit I am. I'm 6 inches. But working from the back to the front, I've got my Delco 50D in right here, and so this provides all my charge to my lithium setup. And so I've pulled all new wiring to this, and I can put a wiring diagram. I can try to make it downloadable somehow, but basically I've got the wake speed hooked up to this, and it comes up and routes back. I also have my Sterling alternator protection device. So if this alternator is producing power and the BMS on the battery shut off, I guess it's called a load dump, and you can fry your alternator. This one's big enough, it might not happen, but that's kind of a big problem. So people put like a DC to DC charger and try to put all these complicated things in, but I'm way below the settings on the battery. And then also this thing right here, if the batteries were to do a load dump, this thing supposedly will dissipate the voltage dump, because the voltage will spike and the current goes down real low. And so basically this thing's $70. Worst case scenario, this thing would fry, but it's supposed to dissipate it. So kind of a summary here, I've got my 270 amp alternator, and I've got it running up front here, and I'll show you that. So then my alternator, it comes in to my fuses, and then it routes down to my bus bar and my rack, and it charges the battery. So the controller for it is the Wake Speed WS500, and it's fully programmable. And so I have it, the settings in this are exactly the same as these. So I'm using 27.5 volts for bulk, and then 26.7 for absorption and float and storage. Basically what I've found is that 27.5 will get this to 98, 99, 100%. And it's not like 28.5 volt that they tell you is probably like the upper end of 100%. Like the charge curve, it goes way up to get to 28 volts, and I guess some people say that can like expand and can cause damage to the battery, and there's no reason to do that. And I was sitting here watching it one day, just sitting in a lawn chair, and I found 27.5 got me, it's like right as the voltage curve starts to come up, and it's like 99%. So I just call it a day at 27.5. And then if you unplug everything, the batteries rest around 26.7. So I've got these set at 26.7. So theoretically then, these batteries will kind of sit idle, and then if I have any loads, these chargers will kind of pick it up and the battery, and it'll kind of keep it topped there at like 26.7. So that's what I've found kind of works for me. So then that's the alternator providing this. So these batteries, they're 5,120 watts a piece. So I've got 10,240 watts, and that's, 100% to zero. I'm going to 90%, 99% to, I don't know, maybe 20%. So whatever that is, it's fine. So that's the setting. I've got the Lynx distributor. I've got kind of a unique setup here because I've got all of my power coming in on my red bus bar, and so the only thing on this bus bar are the leads that come to here. And so you can see I've got my shunt, I've got like 1/4 inch thick copper bar. So basically I'm using this as a bus bar. And then, because I was trying to figure out how do you land all these cables on the smart shunt. And so basically I've got the battery coming to one side and then everything else lands on the top. So I was thinking about getting me another one for the positive, but everything works right now. Popping over to here, I've got my 2 Victrons, and so they're the 24 volt 3000 volt amp 70 amp charger rated, and so each one of these powers I've got a AC panel inside, and so together right now they're running in split phase, so I could run 240 volt, but I don't have anything to run that. The other thing I've done is the data connectors that go up and plug in here, once you plug them in, they almost can't get them out. And so I ended up putting me a termination block right here, and so it's just easier to interface them. So if I want to plug the computer in, I just use that open port, and it just makes it really easy. So, you know, in all, what I've found is use 27.5 for the bulk, and then 26.7 for the float, and these batteries work great. Everything works real well. The servo works, everything works. The other thing, I've plugged the wake speed into the servo. There's a cable, and it does show up on the dashboard inside, not on the home screen, but in the connected devices, and then so you can see all of the output for it. You do have to put version 2.9 into the servo to see it. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and leave this. Like I said, I would love to put that version 2 battery in here, and see if it would start both my Victrons, because then I could just turn everything off, and what I could do is turn the version 2 battery on. It would pre-charge those capacitors, and then I just turn these batteries on and everything works like a charm. So I've got that to kind of figure out. I do have some solar panels coming. We'll see, unless I got ripped off. And I've got a Purdue football game on November 14th or 19th, and then we're going to leave for Christmas. And to get the solar panels in, I think I'm going to have to remove this fridge, and to take everything apart. And the way that they've got this fridge bolted in here, it doesn't look like it, but there's at least an hour's worth of work to pull the fridge out. And I've got to pull both cabinet doors off. I've got to pull the handles. I've got to take the doors off of the fridge. I've got to take the doors off of these cabinets. There's some bars down here that hold the refrigerator in. I've got to unbolt those. I've got to unbolt and unscrew all of the stuff up on top. And then I'm a kind of, I don't know, a medium build guy, and it takes everything I've got to slide this fridge out and then roll it this way. And so, like I said, it's at least an hour or so to take all of that apart just to get in here. And probably can't see, but up on top of there is this panel, and it runs straight across, and it's kind of a it's a sheet of plywood, and so I think they adhere whatever this stuff is to it. And so I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to have to pull this fridge out and then drill a hole through the plywood, and then I think that'll give me access to the old TV antenna that's in here. It still works. It's this guy right here, but we don't use it anymore. So I think my thought is to pull this fridge out, drill a hole above it, and then get my wiring to run down through. And I'll show you why I'm picking on that spot. One, because there's nowhere else to access it, but the refrigerator, they've got an opening and it's right there. And so I could drill a hole right here, and I could pull all of my solar panel wiring down in here, and then I can try to figure out where to put it. I thought about building a false floor and then putting all 3 charge controllers down here. The other thing, and I don't know if I want to or not, is I don't need, this is for a dryer. I don't need it. This is the transfer switch for it. This right here is the generator start, which the servo will do for me. And then that box up there is for the generator start, and so is all of that. So I can pull all of it out. And then I've got this whole box sitting up here, which I need another cover for. I only need 1 breaker. I could replace that box. This one, I ended up with the old inverters I had. I've got 2 open holes that I've got to close. But I don't know, I could replace this panel with a smaller one and this panel with a smaller one, get rid of everything. I guess all that to say, I don't know, I could rip everything out and totally rewire both bays. This one, I don't know, it's not too bad. There's just a lot, you know, by the time you do 2 inverters, the bypass, double panels, it's in split phase. I've got the wake speed, I've got the bus bar, my servo, my shunt, my charger, my generator battery, my 24 to 12 volt, my 12 and 24 volt miscellaneous loads, all of my fuses. It just adds up. Right now it's all exposed, so I don't know. I'm thinking about just putting the solar charge controllers down here and calling it a day. The other thing is to rip everything out and start from scratch. So I don't know, leave me some comments and let me know what you think. Been wanting to post a video, but like I said, the weather turned to crap and had to pull it here in storage, so apologize for the lighting, but kind of wanted to give a summary of where I'm at and kind of stuck. Not really stuck, everything works. So I've got the lithium in here, I've got the inverters in here, I've got the 12 volt system running, the wake speed, the alternator, everything's set up and running. The only thing that I don't have is these batteries right here. From flicking a switch won't charge the capacitors over here. I've got to manually do it myself, so I don't know. Leave me some comments on what you think about just putting the solar controllers here or totally redoing the whole thing in the spring. I don't know. Like I said, just trying to do a summary video. If there's anything else, any other questions you have, let me know, and I'll make another video. So there she sits. I just wanted to, this is what my wife wants right here. It's a Dynamax. This one's a Force HD. It's a Super C model. We had something similar before. She liked it. I just thought I'd walk through here. I'm not gonna go look at any of them, but there's a cross country 300 horse in it. A nice little Winnebago. Another travel trailer. Got some boats and an Airstream back there. Got another Class A. Here's a Outlaw. And put the toys in the back. It's another big gooseneck one. That's a pretty good sized guy. And we've got these. Problem is, this guy right here that's not here, he's another He's another big one. So it's hard for me to try to get out of here and not hit him. And then backing in too, it's pretty tight. It's another little Airstream. There's a Brookshire. This guy's got a cool lion on it. So this guy was next to me and it was pretty nice. I could get right in here. It's another Purdue tailgater, it looks like. Another Airstream, so that's the 3 of them. Some more out here. This guy does some turf management, but all in all, it's a pretty nice storage place. It's kind of tight for me. I'm all the way at the back, and I'm all the way at the front. So I don't get anxiety parking this, but I do in here. I was just trying to shoehorn it in between this guy and that one without hitting it. Do it every time. If this stays like this, if this guy's, I don't know if he's gone or if he's camping, but if this were another little one, when I come in here, gives me some room to try to get the back end in there, because this takes quite a bit to get her turned around. But I don't know, thought I'd take a walk down the storage lane and show you all the campers out here. But that's it. Like I said, if you want to see anything, let me know.